What does $100 get you in Stockholm, really? Stockholm is an expensive place to visit. Today I'm gonna see what it costs to do some pretty normal touristy stuff and also to buy some more or less common things. So, time to get some cash then? No, cash is not king in Sweden. Many places in Stockholm won't even accept cash, so use a debit or a credit card instead. But make sure you have a PIN code and a chip. The first thing you want to sort out is transportation. Taking the subway? That is so 2010. Let's take an electric scooter instead. There are tons of these available everywhere, and a day pass costs between 60 and 99 crowns. Perfect, now you can travel in style and be a menace to everyone. As a tourist in Stockholm, you want to explore some really touristy places, and there's nothing more touristy than Old Town. Here you can have a look at the Royal Castle and Parliament and explore narrow old alleys. And you can also find endless amount of shops with everything you never knew you wanted to bring home from your Stockholm vacation. I'm looking for a couple of special touristy things here. A Viking helmet, for example. Never mind that the originals never had horns, that doesn't matter. If you're a tourist, you want horns, it's mandatory. This simple plastic one sets you back 25 crowns, but there are more fancy Viking helmets as well, around 79 or upwards, but come on, who needs a fancy Viking hat? Plastic is fine. These painted wooden horses are called Dala Horses. They come from the province of Dalarna, and they've been around since the 1600s. They're traditionally painted red, and well, there's a copper mine up in Dalarna as well, so they make red paint. Red horses. Coincidence? I think not. This one will set you back 129 Swedish crowns. Next, let's go to Torras Island, a very centrally located marketplace. Here you can find lots of traditional Swedish food, like Italian gelato, Spanish sausages and Turkish burgers. Okay, maybe this wasn't a perfect idea for finding Swedish food, but I'm sure I can find something Swedish around here. Mission accomplished! Swedish meatballs with deer meat. 100 Swedish crowns. Next you want to try a Swedish Fika, and maybe you're thinking of a cinnamon bun, you know, the Swedish one, not like the American cinnamon buns covered in goo, nasty stuff. Or maybe you want to try a semla, a famous Swedish pastry, but it's actually illegal to eat those out of season, and that's at the end of February, so no dice today. The Swedish concept of Fika is pretty interesting. Having a pastry, sure, that's Fika. Having a flat cup of coffee, sure, that's Fika too. Having a soft drink, that counts. But having a beer, that's also having a Fika. Having a Fika should be a social thing, so 2 people are almost required, but I don't have any friends, so cheers to that. 1 beer, 74 Swedish crowns. Something you have to do in Stockholm is go to the archipelago, but the archipelago is hours away. Thankfully enough, there's a place called Fjäderholmarna, just 30 minutes from the city. Getting here will set you back 165 crowns a round trip, but it's not a bad option, especially on a warm and sunny day like this. Traveling around Stockholm is hard work. At some point you want to have lunch or dinner or something in between. Maybe you want to try some Swedish cuisine. Well, give it up, that's not happening. There are no Swedish restaurants in Stockholm. Well, if you don't count the meatballs at IKEA. But if you happen to find a pizzeria, you can try the most Swedish food of all, the famous Kebab Pizza. This is food for heroes and Vikings. A pizza topped with kebab meat and a special sauce that no one really knows what it contains. You will also see pepperonis on the pizza. No one really knows why, because no one actually eats them. But it's tradition. After all of that, you'll have 129 Swedish crowns left, basically 14 bucks. So what can you do with the rest of the money? You could be cultural and go to one of the many museums in Stockholm. For example, the Vasa Museum or the Museum of Technology. Both are excellent, by the way. Or you could play pool in one of the beautiful parks. Or you could afford 1.5 more beers. All in all, Stockholm is pretty expensive, and 100 bucks won't really get you all that much. But not everything has to cost something. Take this park, for example. It's completely free to sit down and enjoy the beautiful day. The nature and the architecture in Stockholm are both beautiful, so even after those 100 bucks are gone, there's something to do and see here. I hope you enjoyed this little look at what 100 bucks gets you in Stockholm. Like and subscribe, but most importantly, have a great day. That's a sauna raft. Nope, you will not get that for 100 bucks.